This is Relationship Postmortem Part 2. Before we go much further in this, I want to introduce a concept or a distinction I've developed recently. It is the victim to hero spectrum, or the blame to responsibility spectrum. A lot of times what people do after a breakup, and they do this for very reasons it's hard to not have compassion for. Humans most often do it when we want to feel less pain. We want more balm. We want an anesthetic for the pain. And so the way we do that is we, not just by vilifying the person, we say, oh, well, they weren't a fit for X, Y, and Z reasons. Well, that may be true. There may be reasons why you weren't a fit. But you do it in such a way as to throw the baby out with the bathwater, ignoring all the wonderful things that they were. And sadly, all too many friends would be willing to validate your emotional experience. Yeah, they were horrible. You can do better. All these things. Maybe you can do better. Maybe you can't. Let's say that you always can do better. And the question is, did you throw away something that was amazing over a few complaints? And so let's talk about the victim to hero spectrum. The victim is that they did these things. And except in the case of physical violence, in which case you should always leave, or straight out emotional abuse, you should always leave. But that doesn't mean that you can't still do this inventory, all the things that you loved about them. Now, it doesn't bring you any comfort. By the way, most of my distinctions will not bring you comfort. They will bring you power and choice and development. So if you're looking for comfort, you want to go to your friends who just validate your experience, and at the same time, though, you're giving up on incredible opportunities. So victim and blame to hero and responsibility. This spectrum, and we're all along the spectrum at some point. That's why we call it a spectrum. Everybody's on there somewhere. The problem with blame and victim is that it puts all of you're at effect. You give all your power away. And you are, in effect, just going to be thrown about by the vicissitudes of life and by other people. And that's not only is it not true, it's not useful. And this true, not useful distinction is one I will come back to over and over again. Is it your fault? Of course it's not your fault. And by the way, blame and responsibility, fault and responsibility aren't the same thing. But there's a blame-responsibility spectrum. And you could be a hero in your own life by always looking for where you contributed to it. Now, if you have such low self-esteem that you shame yourself as a result of this, then you should avoid this practice until you've built enough self-esteem that you realize that the best way to build self-esteem is to take responsibility. It is the single most effective way to build self-esteem, is to take responsibility, because your ego has to expand in the positive sense. To allow this in, you have to get broader shoulders, so to speak. It will bring you no comfort. It will bring you the cold comfort of knowing you are continuing to develop yourself, while others won't. And you don't get this social reinforcement of, yeah, you can do better. They were terrible. Oh, yeah. You don't get any of that. But you do get incredible evolution from it, because you will have to expand to accept responsibility for those things. And you will always here's the other challenge that comes with blame and victimhood. You will be bound to make those same mistakes again in the future. You'll be, I'll say, sentenced to making the same mistakes in the future. And you will have created your own personal hell as a result.